Everybody, and welcome back to All the Mods 8. In the last episode, we got ourselves new armor, tools, creative flight, and the chunk destroyer, which has mined out all of these beautiful resources for us right behind me. And today, we're going to be processing all these raw resources using Mekanism. Since the last episode, we have done a stream where we have now built this building here across the river. This is where all of our Mekanism stuff is going to be done now in the future. So we're going to have ore processing, any automation that needs to be done, like our metallurgical infusers, crushers, enrichment chambers. Everything to do with Mekanism auto-crafting is going to be done here. I still would like to use the occultism demons to process some resources, since they can 6x an ore just from one raw, whereas for Mekanism we need 3 raw just to get 10 ingots. So it would be still cool to try them out. And we'll have to wait until we've built our floating island for all of our magic stuff up over there behind our base. But before we start, there's actually a couple of items I'd like to get my hands on before we start. Number 1, unobtainium. Unobtainium is going to be needed for some of the crafts that we're going to do today. Number 2, better range on our AE system. I need the dimension card. Like, it's so bad. I can't even access my AE system over in the Mekanism area. 3 would be more mystical agriculture seeds. I'd like to get myself all the alloy seeds, such as like bronze, invar, electrum, and a bit of Certus quartz and glowstone, why not? And number 4, better power. Unfortunately, our bigger reactors are not able to keep up with the system that we're going to be now building today. So we're going to use the next best thing, which is the best early game power you can use through Mekanism, ethylene gas burning. And we're going to be setting that up right over here underneath the stairs in this area, right in this wall here. So there's a little bit of a space back here where we'll be able to do all of our gas burning needs. We should be able to fit one back here and then same on the other side. So let's get started. Okay, we have finally got ourselves infinite range on our AE system. This is amazing. We got extra seeds planted and we got ourselves unobtainium, and we'll be using that now later on for our ore processing. So if we come in here now, just push the button. Let's use our elevator that we made on stream. Pretty cool. And then close the door. So up here, what we have right now is a basic steel production. We put iron in here, it goes across, turns into enriched iron, goes across and turns the enriched iron into steel dust, and then that gets stored in here. Then what I can do is with this ender pouch that I set up, there's another version of it over there. If I just show you, that just pulls anything I put into this ender pouch to be smelted, and it goes back into the system. Pretty good. And now what we got right here is the infused alloy, basic circuit production. Over there then is elite alloy and ultimate alloy. So we're basically working with the steel right now because we need to make power. And how are we going to make power? Gas burning. So we're going to be doing it down here under the stairs. So if we just pop in here, just clear this out of the way. And we'll probably need to come down a step because the way I'm going to be setting this up is probably not the most optimal way, but I need to make sure I have plenty of room to be able to run this, because we're going to be using potatoes as our biofuel, since potatoes, or at least baked potatoes, seem to be the best for our production here. Regular potatoes give 5, baked potatoes give 7. Other things we could do is like a pumpkin farm with botany hoppers and whatever, but baked potatoes seem to be the best option. And we're going to use dimensional chests to bring the potatoes across. Let's say frequency 2. I don't think I have anything on the frequency. Oh, no, I do. Okay, let's go with a frequency 3. Change. Okay, so I do have a little notebook in here that I'm using to keep an eye on all of my numbers here. So 2 seems to be wood, so let's just add that in here. All right, at least now we won't forget what number we have. So if we go back over here to the farm, okay, something weird is going on with that guy. I'm not going to question it. The create seems to bug out a lot. Put this guy right here, change the frequency to 3, and then we're just going to tell the potatoes to export out into him. We don't need to be super fast, we'll just use an improved pipe. So what we can do then is grab out an obsidian furnace, put this right here, and then say this guy then is going to input from there, output out the right, auto in and out. Then we're going to grab it at some upgrades, so a factory upgrade and a speed augment upgrade, and we can put that back in there. And then all we need to do is get ourselves a crusher. Now I think a crusher requires buckets of lava, so we're going to have to go get some lava. All right, 16 buckets of lava. We get ourselves a crusher, which requires steel casing and osmium. We don't actually have any osmium in ingot form. We'll use the elevator. Go over here and grab out our circuits and alloy and more steel. So steel casing, crusher, and then we can put the crusher right here. Perfect. Then we just want to say configuration of items in, items out, auto eject on. And now this needs to go into a PRC, pressurized reaction chamber. So here's our PRC. And now we need to make sure we're able to configure this correctly. So we're going to need multiple inputs. We need item input, which is going to be on the left, or on the, yeah, the left. So item input will be on the left here. Now item output, since this guy here is going to make substrate, we also need to pump in water, gas, and export out the ethylene gas. So there's a multiple things we need to do with this guy. And we also need to provide it with power. So how are we going to give it power? We could do the power through the back. And since we finally have access to steel, we could make ourselves the advanced cable, which should probably be better than using the pipes cable. And we'll stick the point right there. That should auto eject out. Perfect. So that's going to start running. We'll give it upgrades now in a bit. So we want item output. How are we going to pump out the items? We could just auto eject out the right. And we could have the gases input in the bottom and then the other gas output out the front. Yeah, that would work. Okay. So we need an electrolytic separator. This is how we're going to make water into hydrogen. So we're going to grab ourselves out a sink. And you know what, actually, let's use ultimate cable. That way we can pull out water and gas into the same slot underneath. So what we can have is water being pulled out, like so. That's going to start making this. So make sure it's not going anywhere just yet. You can see the water is being inputted in, so we can give it the maximum pipe upgrade. Okay. Then what we can do is come in here and make sure our gases are correct. So we want gases out the front. Items are going to be output out the right, auto eject on into a drawer. And then fluids are okay. And then the other gases are going to be input in through the bottom. Now we just need to make sure the hydrogen comes out. So we're going to dump the excess oxygen. Dark blue is hydrogen. So we're going to go in here, clear the items, clear the gases, and we're going to output hydrogen out the front. And now we just need to tell the thing here to extract. There we go. So now we're getting water and gases in the bottom. And then we can get ourselves out a drawer. Put a drawer right there. And you can see we're getting substrate. We're going to give it a void upgrade and a couple of upgrades as well. So this will hold 16 million substrate. Now what we need is the gas burners. And then we can hook this ethylene up to the front of it. Okay, so this is how it's going to be laid out. We have 4 gas burning generators, cable hooked up to a plug, which we're going to disable the limit because it might need a bit more. Then we're going to upgrade these guys now. The gas for the ethylene is going out and underneath. I was hoping it can go underneath because I thought maybe it can only go in the side and the top. If it had to go in the top, it had to go in the top, but it seems to be perfect going in the bottom. All I need to do now is upgrade and do the same on the other side. Okay, so the same should be on the opposite side now. Weird wiring and everything under here now, but we have speed upgrades. So you get speed upgrades, you get speed upgrades, you get speed upgrades, and you get speed upgrades. I don't think we really need speed upgrades on the electrolytic separators. We can if we need to, but since they're actually technically linked together to share on both sides, it should be fine. Now, we shouldn't have any more power issues for at least a while now. Okay, now let's get moving on to ore processing. So down here, this is how we're going to lay out our sulfuric acid. So we're going to have pulverizers here, chemical oxidizers, chemical infusers, electrolytic separator, rotary condensator, and a sink. I've tried to make as many machines as I can, but I think we're still a few short, but we should be okay. So we need 2 chemical infusers and maybe 3 chemical oxidizers. I was just thinking about like how I'm setting this up, and I might have actually over counted the amount of chemical oxidizers I need, whereas I think I actually need more pulverizers, because pulverizers are the only way I can see how you can make sulfur into dust. So we're going to set these guys up like this, and we're going to have 5 of them, but we're going to double stack them. And then we're going to use universal cable or universal pipe to be able to transfer power and items. I've set up an ender chest with the color code of yellow so we can pull out just sulfur. So if we put this right here, you can see it's full of sulfur, and the only way to make the actual dust is really using either macerating, a crusher spirit, crushers from immersive engineering, or a pulverizer. And fraction still just gives it from light oil, but that's not possible at the moment. So we need to hook up the point, which is probably going to be down here somewhere. So mains power, extract, and then we can get ourselves an upgrade. Just to make sure it's pulling enough power. And then we can tell the thing here to extract out the actual items. There we go. Now the thing is, we need this thing here to be the same. So if we come in here and configure this thing. So we want input on the left here and output on the right. We can turn on auto input or auto output. Doesn't really matter since we're using cables. Then you want to get your thing here called red print, and then we want to shift right click? No, just right click to configure it, and then right click every machine individually to basically copy the settings over. Perfect. So they're all now macerating or pulverizing sulfur. Then what we want to do is just grab out regular item pipes now. We don't need any more universal. So regular item pipes. Now we need to tell this thing here to extract on every side. Okay, with them all extracting now we can get ourselves chemical oxidizers, and we're going to have to get some cable first to give this thing some power. And power is going to be coming from here. So they should be getting plenty of sulfur now, hopefully. And once we give them speed upgrades, they should be going very fast. I'm going to make myself some pressurized pipe, and then we're going to hook this up here. And I want to make sure that it doesn't connect, so I need to get myself out a configurator. Okay, so we're going to have 2 chemical infusers right here. So let's configure them away from the pipe so they don't accidentally input in anything random. We could use the item or the pipette dropper thingy from Mekanism. This guy here, gauge dropper, he will clear anything that's inside these little inventories. So let's say this one here is making the sulfuric acid. So we want input through the front, output out the top, and secondary input in through the right. So when I hook you up right here, you shouldn't, if I get out the right one, be connected. Okay, you were not supposed to input at all. Oh, that was items. My bad. It should have been like that. Okay, now we need to make the gauge dropper. A bit of a waste of sulfur dioxide, but not much we can do. And then the same thing right here, but this guy should be okay to do it. So we can put you right here. So you're supposed to get the sulfur dioxide. Let's configure this now. So this guy needs to mix with oxygen, I believe. Let's double check that. Yep, it needs to mix with oxygen. So we need an electrolytic separator right here and a rotary condensator right here. And also, let's get ourselves the cable, but we want to go here to none, so that way it won't connect at all. So electrolytic separator is going to go here. And then we're going to have some water pipe just going along here. So extract and pipe upgrade. There we go. And that should be more or less the entire setup now. So you should be turning water into water vapor. You should be making hydrogen and oxygen. Now, I think the hydrogen got pumped out, or at least it's in the cable. So I need to come in here, say gases, clear, and only output out the oxygen. Now, to clear this, we could just break the cable. And there we go. Now we're making sulfur trioxide, which should get pumped out into here. And now we're making sulfuric acid. Now I just need to hook everything here up to power. Of course, I was 2 cables short. But there we go, everything here is running. So yeah, sulfuric acid is now being produced. Now that will run up through the floor to our chemical dissolution chambers that will be set up along here. So let's get those set up, and then we can get to work on doing the rest of them. And we also have to set up we have Zoom now? The pack has had an update. I didn't know Zoom got added. Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, the pack had an update while I was setting up the power, and I just updated, and some weird things are happening, but I think it's good. But the fact we have Zoom now, oh my god, that's amazing. I accidentally pressed that button. That was not intentional. Whew, okay, I love it now. But yeah, so this is going to come up here like this. And the way it's laid out over there, you can see that we're going to have one on the edges and then doubles on the inside and clear on this side. So it's actually going to be raised up like this, going through the dissolution chambers, because we're going to have multiple dissolution chambers. Probably to here, so we have enough room on the top to run our cables for our items. And then we're going to run it up this way. Now, of course, we don't have enough, so I'm going to set up one row of it, and then I'll do the rest of it. So, chemical dissolution chamber. That requires refined obsidian. Now, refined obsidian is going to require an osmium compressor. Now, I'm pretty sure I made one of those. Did I? I did. We'll just take the elevator to the top floor. And we're just going to set this up, I don't know, here for now. We need to give it some power now as well. So, cable, I'll go in there. But now we need refined obsidian. Now, to make refined obsidian, we need to enrich some obsidian into obsidian dust, clean that using diamond dust. So if we look up diamonds here, grab out a couple stacks of diamonds, grab out an enrichment chamber, and we'll just put this here for now, and put the diamonds in there, and we need to make some speed upgrades and give it some power. There we are. So we're making plenty of enriched diamonds now. We could make it go quicker if we made ourselves an installer, just a basic installer for now, and then that will make it go really quick. And now we just need up some obsidian. So if we put let's split this in half. So 32 go in here, 32 go in there, and we'll put this in here to be cleaned. And that will go in here now to make refined obsidian dust. We put the 4 refined obsidian dust in here now. It should make us the actual refined obsidian ingots. And we can do the same for glowstone as well. There's also a seed for this if we want to, so we might set one of those up later. This thing's incredibly slow, so let's speed it up. There we go, 4 refined obsidian ingots. Now that's enough to make 1 dissolution chamber after we make some of the atomic alloy, so we're going to have to go upgrade the alloys now as well. We can also now enrich this refined obsidian that's done, so that way it'll actually like produce more for us. I'm going to hold on to 10 of it just in case. And then we can put this in here, and then put our reinforced alloy in, and now that will make atomic alloy. One of the strongest alloys in existence, top tier alloy achievement. Now with that, we should be able to make ourselves our ultimate control circuit, so we need 2 of these. Make 2 of them, and we're just missing a steel casing. So come downstairs, and this is going to go here, and we're going to have item pipes pumping all the items in later. But you should be getting the sulfuric acid once I connect it up down there. So from here then, we're going to use item pipes to make sure we pull everything out. Actually no, this comes out as a gas now, so we need to use pressurized tubes. So that's going to go there, and now from this guy it needs to go into a chemical washer. So into a chemical washer, and then from the chemical washer, it has to go into a chemical crystallizer. So chemical crystallizer, and then it needs to go into a chemical injection chamber, then a purification chamber, a crusher, and then an enrichment chamber. And then the enrichment chamber is the final step before it gets smelted. So yeah, this is the process it needs to go through. And we're going to need a lot of these, especially going up the way, because well, this guy here is very slow, so we're going to need a lot of chemical crystallizers to crystallize all of the clean slurry into that. So we're going to need at least like double the amount of that compared to the washers. So we're probably going to have somewhere along the lines of like, yeah, 5 or 6 of these chemical dissolution chambers, 5, 6 chemical crystallizers, or dissolution chambers, and then maybe 1 or 2 chemical washers. We'll see. It's all about like finding the balance to keep this thing at maximum productivity. But one more thing we also need to set up now is evaporation towers. And we're going to do that back here. Now, I need to cut down some of these trees. They're kind of in the way. I don't know how many evaporation towers we're going to need. So I'm just going to try and make like 5 of them at least. If we need to make more, we will. We probably will need more since we're going to be like setting up lithium production. Since we're going to be making the induction matrix to store all of our power now in the future. But to begin, we can just set it up inside this chunk border here. So let's start by going here, so it makes sure everything's within. Okay, we have 4 towers made, but what we want to do here is grab out 2 electrolytic separators, One is going to be making hydrogen, and the other one is going to be separating the brine into chlorine. So what we want to do is figure out where to put this. So this is where water's going to go. So water's going to go into them like this. So that should be starting to slowly turn it in. It might not since it's nighttime, but I'm also going to stick another port on and then use a resistive heater to provide it with extra heat to work faster. So let's see. This is like the hard part of figuring out where to put all these things. So if we say one of these guys go here and then use these guys here to extract, I need more pipe. We're going to put the other electrolytic separator right here, and he's going to be pumping out the hydrogen. Okay, so hydrogen is going to be pumped out the front of you. We just need to give it all power now in a moment. And that's all going to get pumped into a quantum entangloporter after we hook up the chemical infuser. So we're going to have input on the back, input through the bottom, and it's going to output out the top into a quantum entangloporter. So quantum entangloporter go here, and now we just need to set our network. So we're going to call this thing ore processing, ore processing. There we go, and it's a public network. So that's just going to be there, and you are going to say no items, no fluids, but gases input through the bottom. This guy now will have to say gases are going to be outputting out the top. Now, it depends on which one is where. So brine into chlorine, and then that chlorine mixes with hydrogen. So then the chlorine comes out on the lighter side, so the cyan. So plenty of pipe now. Connect that all there. And yeah, the system should be ready once it starts making brine. All we need to do now is give it power. Probably not the cleanest way to route the power, but it's fine. Okay, so using the resistive heater right here, it's only using 40, so let's just slap it with 1,000, and that should bring it up to quite a high temperature. Oh yeah, I need to put a point on this system. There we go. That should be providing these towers here with heat, and now you can see it's producing brine. Tell the brine here to extract. So now using a second quantum entangloporter, here's a chemical injection chamber. So if we just kind of aim at the ceiling and put it right here, select our network to set, and now I'm pretty sure this thing should face the same way at all times. So we just want to say gases output out the bottom. Yeah, so if we hook up pressurized pipe, we should see the what's it called again? Hydrogen chloride come out the bottom. No, do we need to turn on auto eject? I can't tell if anything's in there. Maybe it didn't face the way I thought so. Oh no, there's something in the cable now. You can see it's a slight bluish color. And if we run that all the way down, this guy here should be getting it. Perfect. So this whole system is basically working. Now I just need to do it at maximum scale. Well, it's done. Only half it. I've more or less ran out of materials to continue going to do this side, so this is what we've got. Over here, we've got an entangled block, which is linked to our storage controller over in our main base. I don't know if you can view it. You can kind of see a purple block over there. That's linked up to this guy here with filters to pull out every single type of resource. There's 6 in this one, and then the same over here, 6 in this one. So I've used a destination tool to tell it exactly where to go. If we look in here, it says it has a destination of that, which should bring it to an exact chemical dissolution chamber, meaning it won't be mixing and matching. And then it goes through this whole line right here, so we get it to dissolution, washed, and then crystallized all the way up till it becomes a dust into this dimensional chest, which is linked on frequency 8. Over here into these two Aldemodium furnaces, which then get smelted and put into the system. Pretty cool. Now, the only thing I need to do is hook up the sulfuric acid production right here. But the only other issue we have is, yeah, we ran out of sulfur. We do not have enough sulfur to run the other systems here. So we need to get our chunk destroyer up and running as soon as possible. But we should be able to get this line here running right now. Everything should be running with maximum speed upgrades. This is going to go insane. Oh, power. I don't think this cable here is capable of pulling out enough power. We might need to stick more nodes on it so we can extract. But yeah, the noise here is crazy. So for power, well, it turns out our gas burning generators are not enough. I thought we might have been able to get away with it, but clearly not. And what the heck is going on down here? I mean, it still seems all to be working. Yeah, okay, I think this is just a visual glitch. For some reason, the cables are broken, but it does seem to be working. I don't know what's going on here. I did have to revert the pack back, the update. There were some weird issues happening where my game just kept crashing for no apparent reason. And we also did max out our storage over here. So I had to make another 256k ME deep item storage disk, which is okay. I'm planning on doing more disks and automation maybe in our next episode. Let's get to work and get our chunk destroyer up and running again. I want to add fortune onto this guy now. So the best option we have is this vengeance pickaxe. Since the fortune is number 1 on the list and we only have curse of vengeance as the other option, since that won't go on the chunk destroyer, this will be the perfect pickaxe to make because it automatically comes with fortune. We need dark sticks, which require dark gems, and undead planks. Undead planks come from, it looks like some sort of like undead tree. Undead sapling, which comes from putting a dried bush in a blood infuser. Okay, so we're getting deep into evil craft to begin with. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how you make this guy here because you need the blood infusion core. But this requires hardened blood shards, and hardened blood shards are gotten by drying blood, and to get blood you need to use a blood extractor, and I'm guessing you get blood by killing mobs with the blood extractor. So let's make ourselves a few blood extractors here, and I think the thing about these blood extractors is you can keep combining them in here to make them have more capacity. So far this is 25 buckets, so if we head out and since it's nighttime, we should be able to kill a few mobs and see if this blood will fill. Did we get any blood? We did, 162. So I guess we just need to go on a bit of a spree killing mobs. Okay, so this thing is full of blood now. So do we just drop it in the ground here? Now, it said something about the thing had to have at least 5 unhardened blocks of blood. So, can we just shift right click this? Okay, we just right click, not shift right click, and just drop it into the world here. And then drop the infused gems in. Oh, okay, I see. So I just need to keep doing this until I have a few of them. You know what? That's probably enough. I think we only needed 1 to make the blood infuser, and then we can make a lot more. Now what we can grab out is a drying basin. Put blood in there and then wait for it to harden. Well, that took a bit of time, but there we go. 1 hardened block of blood. And how do we get our pieces from it? I think we have to smelt it. Yes. So we should be able to make ourselves now the blood infuser. So we got an infused core and then the actual blood infuser itself. And we can put that. We'll have to come up with a proper building for all of this now in the future, but we should be able to fill this thing now with blood and get even more dark gems. So for this, we need hardened blood and then the evil stick, which is going to require a dead bush. Do we have any dead bushes? Yes, we do. Infuse this thing here with some blood. There we go. And now we can go outside, grow it, and then chop it down. Let's give it some old phyto grow. There we go. Undead tree, chop it down. Do we get any saplings back? No, we didn't. So it might be a good idea to stick that in a botany pot. We'll make one more. So turn it into planks and then use those planks to make yourselves your dark sticks. So a stack of them should be more than enough. And then we just need to get ourselves out a lot more hardened blood. So drying basin. You know what? I'm actually going to upgrade this guy to the mechanical one because he's too slow. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this guy in here. And I'm going to disconnect that there, but I'm going to stick a drawer on it for it to only go into. I think we might need to go get more blood, but you know what? This might be enough. Let's see. Can we just right click it in? Yes, we can. And number 2. Okay, that should be more than enough now to make ourselves a couple of pickaxes that we can then take the enchantments off of. How many of these can we make? And I want to combine them together to see how high of an enchantment we can get. Ooh, we're kind of low on levels. Do I have any left over in my house here in my experiencing? No. Yikes. Okay, we need a lot more experience. But you know what? This is probably more than enough. Fortune 6. Let me see if I can get some experience and see if I can get this any higher. Well, apparently from breaking the Ultimadium furnace, I got 112 levels. Cool, because this thing actually stores all of its levels, so that's great. And I think, yeah, that's the way it goes. All right, no power. That's strange, but it should be getting power. We have a Fortune 7 now. We could get Fortune 8. We're actually that close. Do I have any more furnaces that I can break to get more experience? And there we go, Fortune 8. Perfect. We could use our tome book to increase it even higher, but I mean, Fortune 8 is probably more than enough. So all we have to do now is grab out a book of scrapping, and hopefully this works now. Are you kidding me? It didn't get a high enough enchant? Is that... I wonder if it's actually because this thing can't handle enchantments higher than level 5. Ooh, maybe. I still have one Vengeance pickaxe with Fortune 5 on it? No. It's not the issue. Unless I can just move the enchantment over. Let's make ourselves the enchantment mover. Have all the ingredients ready for it. Where'd it go? Did it not craft it? Oh, it auto-ejected it out into the drying basin. Weird. But sure, that makes sense. Anyway, so we wanted to move up, down. What's this mean? I have no idea. Where's our chunk destroyer? It's right here. So we put this in here and put ourselves our maximum in there. Fortune over. Oh, we have to do all of it? Oh, we can just keep clicking? Oh no, maximum fortune 3. So we can't go any higher than that. That's disappointing, but sure, why not? Eventually, I'd say there's probably a better way of moving enchantments across, like using the enchantment extractor from Industrial Foregoing. But for now, I guess it's the best we have. So let's choose another location, and we're going to probably start from the corner here and go miles that direction. So I guess anywhere along here, we'll want to offset it that way. So it's there. Go up north 5 chunks. Is it 5 chunks? I can't remember what we did before. Oh, it was 10 chunks, right. And not that direction, but this direction, we'll just go for like, I don't know, 30. This thing will be huge. Yeah, this hole is going to be massive. It might actually even be a bit much for our thing to be able to keep up with. Maybe we'll half it down to 15. Yeah, 15 might be a bit more manageable. But all we have to do now is just grab out an ender chest. Take the ender chest on top, grab out a point. Do we have one? We do. Stick that in there, select our network, mains power. I was messing around with see how we can do power now. Because I've actually changed our storage block from Flux Networks to a ultimate cube from Mekanism. But I think that's where our bottleneck is. And this thing should be running, right? Oh, you know why? Because no power is able to get through here. For some reason. What if we enable power surge? It'll make it so all the power will go to this guy first. Now, the only issue is we're going to get so much dirt, cobblestone, deep slate, and yeah, we're not going to be able to keep up with it all. So this is where now we have to set up a massive extract factory. Yeah, we're not going to be able to keep up with this. I'm hoping by using entangled blocks, we might be able to extract this stuff out a little bit quicker. Because we'll be able to use more entangled blocks linked to this ender chest instead of having to make more ender chests. Because at the moment, we do not have the blaze rods to keep making them. I mean, I could go get more, but meh, it's just easier. Okay, never mind. We can't even entangle the ender chest. So never mind. We have to go get more blaze rods. Well, just by adding a couple more ender chests now, it seems to be going very fast. Because if I remove these, you can see it's still filling my inventory. So it's extracting out deep slate extremely fast, which is perfect for what we want. Now what we have to do is just sit, wait for it all to extract, and that should be it then. So we've gotten ourselves a really overpowered ore processing system here. There's probably still a few minor changes I will have to do in here. Like this guy here is not getting enough power to wash everything, but that's also then slowing down our production because then it's trying to spread it between everything. So we're not getting the ingots as fast as I would like, but it definitely is working. We just need to fix our power issue. Because if we have a look here at what our power situation is, you can see this ultimate energy cube is completely filled. So we seem to be making enough power, we're just not able to export it out fast enough. So I'm thinking maybe to start our next episode, we'll get ourselves an induction matrix. It's needed. And as you can see, I've actually replaced the water inside these reactors with all the ammonium blocks and half unobtainium blocks. And this is producing more than double our power now. We were producing like 13,000. Now we're producing a little over 30,000, which is a huge increase in power production. So I'm going to end it there. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell when you're at it then as well. So without any further ado, goodbye.